Well, Stuart is on another adventure.
Welcome back to the channel. You can see I'm at a different place. So back in Amsterdam. So flew out yesterday. This time we actually flew from Birmingham Airport as we normally do, but we went actually by car. Didn't go by the multiple public transport that we did last time, mainly because of me back. Worked out quite well really. It was probably about another £20, £25 more expensive than going by public transport, so it wasn't too bad to be honest. Parked on the airport complex, which is quite easy because it's got ANPR cameras, so automatic number plate recognition. So the barrier just lets you in, and then you catch a terminal bus that takes you straight into the airport. So it was quite easy. Check-in was quite good. Security was easy because we didn't have any extra baggage. We just had carry-on baggage, and we'd already checked in online. So we just waited and then caught the flight out. The flight was slightly late, but he seemed to catch up, so he must have had the put the accelerator down on the way over, I guess. It was quite an uneventful flight, apart from actually they had no hot water or flushing water for the toilets, so I think any longer flight that could have been a bit of a disastrous thing, to be honest. And then we arrived at Schiphol Airport in Amsterdam, and then our son and daughter-in-law, they live about one stop away from the airport on the train, so that was quite an easy connection. Saw those double-decker trains. Always wanted to go on those, so I'm determined to do that at some stage during a trip to Amsterdam. And we're here now. Good morning. It's a bit chilly this morning, I have to say. I got all my clothing wrong for Amsterdam. I think winter's finally got it in. There's a biting wind, so I've got 4 layers on this morning. I'm not going to show you around Amsterdam on this trip. I've done that twice before, so if you want to see those, we did it once when we came with Harry the Campervan and stayed here for 4 or 5 nights. Highly recommend the site that we stayed at, because he was on a great link of a train into the centre of Amsterdam, and then the last time we came we showed you around the back streets of Amsterdam. Today we're just going off to the train station. Got 2 train journeys. We're going off to Haarlem, so I'll show you around there.
It's a great opportunity for Stuart to start exploring more of the Netherlands. The city was highly recommended, not just by his family, but also by some of his subscribers.
So that's Haarlem Central Station. We arrive. I was looking at Google Maps last night, so we've got a bit of a walking tour we're going to go on, just to try and force ourselves to see the sights without doing too much walking because we'll be back. So during the siege of Haarlem by Spanish troops in 1572, the Sisti resisted heroically for months, and Captain, I'm going to say this all wrong, Vigvold Ripperda, or Baron Vigvold Ripperda in full, was appointed military commander by Prince William of Orange, and he led the defence of the city. He was an important leader of a regiment of women. He was a shipbuilder and timber merchant by profession, so he wasn't military. Haarlem has a vibe like a mini Amsterdam, but a much gentler pace. Portuguese tarts there at the top. Our first stop is coffee and chocolate. That looks rather appetising. Just look at those. What are they? Both mine. You decide on what flavour of hot chocolate ones. We just had standard because I didn't know what to have. Chocolate on the stick. €5 I think mine was. Oh, that's so creamy. Well, I've looked online and I can't find out anything about it. So if anybody's got any ideas, let me know. I think these were almshouses. We're in what's called the Grot Market, I think it's pronounced like that. But I'm guessing on certain days it'll be full of market traders. Not today. So that little slim building there is the Franz Hall Museum. He was a fine artist. So if that's your thing, you can go and do that.
This is St. Bavo's Church. The first church on this site dates back to 1307. The Gothic-style building you see today was primarily constructed between 1370 and 1520. Originally a Catholic church dedicated to St. Bavo, Haarlem's patron saint, it became the city's cathedral in 1559. In 1578, during the Protestant Reformation, it was converted into a Protestant place of worship.
Wow, the flooring here is just huge. I think they're individual tombs basically, or burial areas. They've all got a number on. It was €4 to get in. This wasn't too bad. It's a big space. As ever, the ceilings in these places are just unbelievable. So in 1766, Mozart, he was only 10 at the time, he played the Christian Muller organ that you can see at the end there. Handel also played this organ, and it has 5,068 pipes and stands 30 metres high. So this is the Christmas chapel, and that there on the right there is a statue. It's 1496 of Mary. It was actually removed off the northern facade of the church in 1847 and was replaced with a more modern one. So that was an art project that they did back in, I think, 2020. So that's supposed to be a shape like a pelican. Doesn't look like a pelican to me. Apparently it goes back to 1499, they reckon. So these were gifts from the Shipbuilders Guild in the area. The ships date back from the 16th and 17th centuries and are modelled on the ships that were built in Haarlem at the time. So this, believe it or not, is the oldest safe in Haarlem. It dates back to the 15th century, and apparently it contained things like the city rights of Haarlem. So it was obviously a community base safe of all important things. Why it's in the church, I don't know. So I'd say Haarlem's a really pretty place walking around. I can see in the summer and that being really vibrant, very busy and that. Obviously it's colder now, it's November, and but there's lots of shops, a lot of small shops, lots of coffee houses, a lot of restaurants, quite a bit of history to see. So yeah, well worth a visit. We're just going to stop for lunch now. We're going to have Thai green curry soup for me. Jane's having ham and cheese panini, a bit more safer. And then we'll have a bit more of a walk around, and we'll just head back. So just a couple of hours out, nice and easy on the train, so easy, just tap in, tap out. That's Jane's panini, ham and cheese panini, and this looks rather good. It's my Thai green curry soup, which is not something I normally have, to be honest. Blimey, that's nice. That's really nice. This is the Amsterdam support, as I understand, which is a only surviving medieval gate from 1355. There used to be 12 of them surrounding the city. This is the only one survived, but it's in the middle of a very busy road junction. So this guarded the eastern entrance. He was witness to one of the harsh sieges of Haarlem in the 80 Years' War. Just unfortunately it's now surrounded by modern day roads and a junction, really. Unfortunately the windmill's all covered up in scaffolding. There's a better shot of it. Yeah, I'd say it was grind up seashells of all things, and a thing called tough stone or something, and then they made either cement or dye production. So it was all part of the industry around the area at the time. Looks like bringing either, I guess, the raw products of seashells or whatever they're going to grind up in, or maybe taking whatever they ground up away on the train track there, or down barges into the barges, I suppose. The motorway of its day was the canals here. Nice bit of late afternoon sun. So I'm going to head back now to the train station. So it's say 2 stops back into Amsterdam for us. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, give me a like, and if you haven't subscribed before, consider doing that. It really helps the channel, and I'll see you in the next episode.
The top episode link. Stuart shows how he stayed in the Amsterdam area in Harry his campervan, whilst the bottom episode link discovers the back streets of Amsterdam. So maybe give them a watch.